Okay, this video is about angles, specifically coterminal angles, complementary and supplementary angles. Some of it might be a review, some of it will be new to you. Okay, so as we look at angles on our quadrants here, you need to know that when we talk about angles as we do trig, we're going to talk about the angle theta, and that's just our generic name for an angle. Okay, it's pronounced theta, looks like this if you spell it. Theta is our angle, all right? And the standard position for our angle always starts here on the positive x-axis. This is called the initial side. This is my initial side. And where it ends is the terminal side. Okay? This is the terminal side. And that angle is named as theta. So you'll hear it referred to as angle theta throughout the lesson, so just keep that in mind. Now, if you look at your quadrants and you think about the angles, they're going to go counterclockwise if it's positive. If it's a negative angle, it's going to go clockwise. All right? And it's important that you show arrows to indicate if it's positive or negative. So 90 degrees should make sense to you, 0 to 90. 180 is a straight line, so this is 180. Then another 90 degrees, which gives me 270, and yet another one gives me 360, which is a full circle. Hopefully that makes some sense to you. So on A here, it says estimate the size of each angle in degrees. So if I ask you, if I give you an angle, it looks like this. This is the initial side. This is the terminal side. Okay? So if I drew my quadrants on top of that, here's where it would be. All right? And it would have an arrow telling you what direction. Okay? So because it's going counterclockwise, I know it's a positive angle. And this is 90 degrees up here. This is 180. This is 270. So it's somewhere between 180 and 270, and it's just an estimate. So I would guess that this one is 200 degrees. On number 2, let's say my angle that's given to me looks like this. Okay. Then if I write those quadrants on there, now because it's negative, you have to count negative. So it goes 0, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, and if it went all the way around, it'd be negative 360. Now, how do I know it's negative? Because the arrow is going clockwise. So, since this is going clockwise, and it's down here between 0 and negative 90, I have to just kind of guess where it might be. And there are wrong answers, but within this quadrant, it's not really that specific. So I might guess a negative 75 degrees. All right, the next type of problem says, draw each angle in standard position. Okay, remember, in your 4 quadrants, the initial side is always right here on the positive x-axis. That is initial. All right, remember your angle measurements, 90, 180, 270, 360. You don't have to write these in, I'm just doing it to show you. So where would 30 degrees be? It's positive, so I'm going to go counterclockwise. So 30 degrees is about right there. Okay, look at example 4, 150 degrees, all right? Here's my initial side. It's positive, so it's going to go that counterclockwise. If 180 is over here, 90 is here, I know it has to land somewhere in between. So I'm going to land it right there and make sure you show your direction with your angle. Number 5, negative 405 degrees. All right, let's think about this. So if it's negative, it's going clockwise. This is still my initial side, no matter what. But it has to go negative 405 degrees, so it has to go negative 360 is a full rotation. And then if I go another 90 degrees, let's see, 360 and 90 would give me 450. So this would be a negative 450 if I kept going. All right, I don't want to go that far. I just want to go to negative 405. So that would be just right in here. So my angle has looped around a whole 1 and a little bit more. So it's a negative 405 degrees. All right, what about number 6? Positive 480. Okay, now we're going in the positive direction, so initial side is always right here in the positive, right? So this is 0. We know if we make a full rotation, it's 360. If I keep going another 90 degrees, that would be 450. We need more than 450. If I go another 90 degrees, that would be 540. So it's in here somewhere. Now, the way I show that it's 480 degrees is with my arrows. So I would say it starts here, it goes all the way around, and lands again. Okay? So this first full rotation is 360, and then I go an additional 120 degrees. Okay? Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Arrows are super important. Okay? C, name the quadrant where each angle would terminate. Okay, we all know where they start, so where do they terminate? It's very similar to what you just did. If it starts here, 300 degrees would be almost a full rotation. So what quadrant? Well, remember your quadrants. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So my answer would be quadrant 4. Number 8, 130 degrees. Well, that's here. 130 is over here. So what quadrant is that? 1, 2. So that terminates in quadrant 2. Negative 260 degrees. All right, so I'm going to draw it in. I'm going to go clockwise. So I'm going to write in my negative angles so I don't have to think too hard. Negative 180, negative 270, and negative 360. So if my angle's going this way, 270, I don't want quite 270, so my angle's going to be here. All right, so that terminates in quadrant 2. Okay. Example 10, look at this. Negative 132 degrees and 41 minutes. Now, 41 minutes doesn't really matter, so you can ignore that. Okay. Focus on just the negative 132. Again, negative angles mean I'm going to go clockwise. So I have negative 90, negative 180, and that's all I really need to know. I always start here, and I'm going to go clockwise. Negative 90, it's less than negative 90, but more than negative 180. So it's going to land over here. So that makes it land in quadrant 3. Okay, coterminal angles. If you look at this picture, you see an angle here that's 120 degrees. Positive angle, so it goes counterclockwise. Here's the initial side, here's the terminal, and it ends right here. So this is 120. Its coterminal angle looks just the same way, but it goes the opposite direction, so it has a different measurement. So if we go clockwise, we go a negative 240 degrees, but they look exactly the same, and that's where the arrows are important, because if it's a positive arrow going counterclockwise, then we know it's 120 degrees, but if it's clockwise, then we know it's a negative 240. So coterminal angles have the same initial side and terminal side. They look like one angle, but they can be named lots of different ways. So you're going to be asked to name 2 coterminal angles, which means you add a full revolution and you subtract a full revolution, and that'll give you 2 new names of the same angle. So look at example 11. 60 plus a full revolution is 360. That gives me 420 degrees. Or that's adding a full revolution, and subtract 360. That would give me a negative 300 degrees. All 3 of these angles would look exactly the same initial and terminal side, but the arrow around it would tell us what exact degree it was by how many revolutions were depicted. Alright, so all I did was add 360 and subtract 360. So in example 12, if it's 505 degrees, if I add 360 degrees to that, I get 865 degrees. Yes, that's possible. Or if I subtracted it, put that in your calculator, and you get 145 degrees. Again, these all look exactly the same initial and terminal ends. So 145 would be like right here. But depending on the arrow, how many would tell you how many degrees. So if it's 505 degrees, then it would go around 360 and then 145 more. So that would mean it would go around more than once. And you'll see some of that as you work through problems today. Now the last thing, complementary and supplementary angles. This should be a review for you from geometry. If you recall, Complementary angles means that two angles add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles means that two angles add up to 180. Your answers always are going to be positive. There's no such thing as a negative complement or a negative supplement. All right? So, easy enough. Number 12 here, let's find the complement and supplement of this angle. So, to find the complement of 20, I take 90 and I subtract 20. So, the complement is 70 degrees. All right? To find the supplement, I would take 180 and subtract the 20. I get 160, and this is the supplement. That's my answer. Now on 13, to find my complement, what am I going to do? It's 90 minus 107. However, that's a negative answer, something, right? So there is none. So if that happens, you say there is no complement. For the supplement, I'm going to take 180 and I'm going to subtract 107. When I do, I get 73 degrees, and that is the supplement of this angle right here, right? So that would be my answer. So no complement, and the supplement is 73 degrees. All right, on your own, I want you to try this. Find two coterminal angles for theta equals 110.